What's happening? Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ivan here, back with yet another profitable case study. This is TED'S Woodworking campaign by Alan. Alan, thank you for letting us use your campaign in this case study to see what makes a campaign successful and how we can improve it and make it better. This campaign has spent $90 and made about $110. So about a $20 profit, which is great, because this is just the beginning stages. So when you're first gathering data, normally you'd expect a campaign to actually be losing quite a bit of money. So the fact that you're already making a profit shows great potential for the campaign, because once we remove all the dirt, all the stuff that doesn't work, that's costing us money, not making us any money, we'll be able to scale and have even better results, all right? And if you guys want me to make a campaign or a case study for your campaign, especially if it has more data and some tracking set up, send me an email at ivan@ivanmana.com and I'll happily take a look. And like I said, hopefully, ideally, it has some more data so we can kind of go through the data stuff of a campaign, right? Look at all the numbers. And I'll be happy to make a case study for that as well to help you improve and help you make more sales, because that's the whole point of these case studies anyway. All right. So before we get into it, guys, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell icon so you don't miss when I post more of these case studies and general videos. I make a lot of make money online videos. Well, more like how to help you make money online. You know, different tips, tricks, techniques, tools you can use that help you. And you'll be up to date and you'll see those videos if you hit the bell icon. So anyway, we're going to get straight into it. So like I said, Alan's campaign here for TED'S Woodworking. So this is the campaign. This is the ad group. We're going to go into ads here. And this is what the ad looks like. Woodworking plans made easy for any level of craftsman. No special tools needed. We have some keywords here. Woodwork. Okay, so that's what it looks like. We are targeting, we're paying $7 a day for this campaign. And we are targeting US, UK, Australia, and Canada. And that's cool. Okay, so all tier 1 countries. I'm not sure why you don't have New Zealand. That is also a tier 1 country. So just food for thought, something for you to keep in mind. So that's an overview of the campaign. So let's take a look at some of the things, you know, that we can improve and some of the good things in the campaign. So the good thing is, like I said, it's got all tier 1 countries targeting Alan. That's great. You could potentially add New Zealand though. So something you could do. Keywords. I love your keywords. The only thing that's kind of scary here, Alan, is that your keywords are broad match. Okay. And this is really scary because if you look at this keyword here, woodwork, right? Like let's look at what people actually typed in to trigger your ad to show up. And you spent 14 bucks on that. So you excluded, okay, so good. You're using negative keywords. That's amazing, guys. Always use negative keywords. But like, for example, Fred Frith woodwork. I mean, that's okay. You know, it's relevant to woodwork, but some stuff here is just completely irrelevant. Like, what is this? Bourbon moth. Okay. 2 people typed that in. You have Buck's Woodshop, which, okay, maybe. Blacktail Studio Workshop. I don't even know if that has anything to do with wood. 12-minute dovetails. 3x3 custom. You know, these are irrelevant and you could potentially have paid for it. So if somebody actually clicked on it, you would have paid for it. Epic woodworking. Okay, I like that. Hooked on wood. Okay. I built it. Okay, so this one, right? So basically point is there are some irrelevant search terms coming in and that's just the one keyword, woodwork. You have marketry. Okay, maybe. You've gotten pretty lucky here. Once you spend more than $6, I can assure you, you're going to get a lot more dirt here, okay? So, Alan, I'd suggest changing your keywords to exact or at least phrase, right? So that at least it will contain the woodwork word in there. Now, if you're feeling a little, what do you call it? A little like risky, you know, if you're willing to take a little risk, you can keep it at broad and you've made some sales. That's great. But I believe that once you start spending more, you're going to get a lot more dirt accumulating and you're going to have to add a lot of negative keywords. So if you go with broad, you're going to have to go into negative keywords and you already added a bunch here. That's great. And I believe you added, okay, you didn't add TED'S Woodworking, so people could type that in. But basically with especially with broad match, you're going to have to add a lot of negative keywords. Like you're not going to be able to keep up if you're going to keep paying even more than $7 a day. Like if you do 20 bucks a day, you know, there's going to be a lot of negative keywords. So just something for you to keep in mind. If you do select broad, make sure to check your negative keywords like a few times a day at least. Okay, because otherwise it's going to be super broad. But we did make some sales, so don't fix what ain't broken. If it's working for you, cool, keep it up. But just a warning, just a heads up, right? Be careful here. Now for ads and assets, the same thing. Again, I've been saying you have way too many ad copies, Alan. So you have here, give it a second to load. You have all these variations, and I'm guessing you did it and a lot of people do it to improve this ad strength. So usually once you add a bunch of headlines and descriptions, your ad strength goes up, and that's why people do it. But I wouldn't even suggest looking at this. So for those of you guys watching, you know, don't worry about this. You know, it doesn't matter, because what we're going to do is you're going to make just 3 headlines here, and then you're going to create another ad. That way you can test and you can see what works. So what I would do, Alan, if I were you, is I would keep one headline that talks about the keyword. So for example, woodworking plans made easy. So this one I would keep. I would pick one headline that's a call to action. And looks like you don't have a call to action here. Oh, here, get started now. So I would pick one. So for example, I would say here, this one, show in position 1. This one, get started, show in position 2. And then pick one more to add as your headline 3. So for example, for any level of craftsman, you can say, pick in position 3. And then delete everything else. Just flat out delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this, right? And the reason for that is, if you guys have seen my previous case studies, it's the same pattern over and over again. It's just you're going to have way too many variations, and you're not going to see what works. Even with the tracking tool, the problem with Google is they don't show you which ad actually converts the best. They show you impressions in the CTR, but that doesn't equate to higher conversions. So we have to be able to make our ads in such a way that will allow us to track these conversions, okay? So what I suggest is delete all of this, okay? Make them, like I said, position 1, 2, 3, and then you're gonna click Save Ad. I'm gonna click Cancel, so you can do it on your own if you decide that this piece of advice is good. And then what you can do is you can click here, you can edit, or you can copy, and you can paste the ad. And then on your second ad, that's where you're going to come in and you're going to change. So this one was 1, this one was 2, this one was 3 or whatever, right? Then you can change it. Instead of this being 1, you can delete it and you can say this is your number 1 instead. Does that make sense? And that way you'll have 2 ad variations in your campaign and you'll be able to tell which one does better. Because otherwise, let me show you what you do see. Let me show you what Google does provide you. So if you click on View Asset Details, here's the information you see. First of all, you see this. You see impressions. Okay, so the headline, that was shown the most was this one. What the hell does that mean? So it was shown the most. Does that mean it got the most clicks? Does it mean it got the most sales? Like, what the hell does that mean? I don't know why Google doesn't show it. And then you can look at combinations. Combinations is a little better. It shows at least CTR, right? So it shows, I believe this is CTR, so 3%, that's, or no, that's not even CTR, that's just like the total number of impressions out of the total. So this ad was shown more than the other ads, likely because it had a higher CTR, people clicked on it more, and so Google decided that it's going to show this ad more, right? But where the hell are the sales? Where are the clicks? We don't know. And then if you look at this, look at how many ad variations you have. These are all your ad variations, all of them. You know, even big companies, even they don't have 100 ad variations running at a time because that's too much. This is way too much. I mean, you're going to need billions of clicks a day to have this many ad variations, right? With your budget of $7, maximum you need 2 ads, 2, right? Because you're doing this split testing. On paper, it looks good, but realistically, you can't see shit. You don't know what any of that data means. Like, can you tell me which headline does better? Can you tell me which description does better? All of you guys watching, right? Remember, this is important. So all you're going to do is create the different ads, and at least that way you'll be able to see clicks and impressions. And once you set up tracking, you'll be able to add this ad ID column here. There's I think it's attributes. You're going to be able to add this ad ID column, or not attributes, somewhere in here, or here, sorry, attributes. you're going to be able to add this ad ID column here, and it's going to give you the ID of the ad. And then in your tracking software, you'll be able to see which exact ad actually gave you the most conversions. That's all it's about, man. It's about conversions, nothing else. Nothing else matters, ultimately, right? We can all agree. So that's the thing. I would do just max 2. Okay, so max 2 ads, and just like I said, delete everything that's not in position 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that's that. And then we have extensions here. So I like the fact that you have structured snippet extensions, you have call out extensions, but you do need citing extensions. You don't have. Citing extensions are the biggest extensions. I strongly suggest citing. They can take up 1 or 2 ad spots, man. 1 or 2 ad spots. It just takes up so much space. Call outs, I think you have, but you can add more because Google shows, I think it's 4 or 6 call outs at a time, right? It's more words to add to your description. So add more call outs. Why not? Structured snippet. You have. Good. That is good. Price, you can add a price extension. So you do need 3 different prices, though, to add a price extension. And I don't remember if TED's has 3 prices. I think they might have 1. But take a look and see if TED even has maybe some upsells or something. You can add 3 prices and say, this is the regular, this is with the upsell, and this is with the other upsell or something. Okay, so do that. And then you can also do promotion. Definitely do promotion. This one's super easy on the site. Usually, I mean like 99.999% of the time, for these types of offers, they're going to say like, hey, this offer is 50% off or whatever, right? So then you just create this promotion extension, literally saying 50% off. That's it. And it's just going to add more stuff to your ad. So right beneath your ad, it's going to say, like in a nice little box, it's going to say promotion extension, right? So it looks so good. Like there's no reason not to do it. Promotion extension, Google Ads. Look at how it's going to look. Like this, right? Deal, 15%. And it's just like, it takes up more. Like, why not? And this is on the phone. Why not? Right? Deal right there. Why not? Attract attention. Okay. So that's basically it for like the smaller things. Okay. On to the bigger things. So we spent $90. We made 110. Amazing. But there's no tracking. Okay. So you do absolutely, Alan, like first thing you got to do is set up track. First thing. Okay. Whenever you guys, this is like the 5th case study that doesn't have tracking set up yet, guys. The first thing you want to do when you start a campaign is set up your tracking. It is absolutely imperative that you do that, because Alan, he made $110 or so, and we don't know where the sale came from, which keyword, which search term, right? We have no idea. So we can't really do much here. We can't go in here and look at the data because there's basically no data, okay? So tracking is a must. Do the first thing. Now, this is a ClickBank offer, so I suggest you guys set up Google Ads and ClickBank integration. That's 1. I'll put a link to that video in the description. And 2, I suggest you get a third-party tracking tool. There's a free one called Bmob. You can use that completely free. Set up tracking between your campaign, the offer, and Bmob. It's free. So go to go.ivanmana.com/Bmob, completely free. I even have a tutorial. Watch my tutorial if you want. It's like an hour-long tutorial on everything you need to know about Bmob, or like 40 minutes. It's 40 minutes is all you need to learn everything you need about Bmob. Very easy to learn. And that way you'll be able to tell which exact search term got you the sale, because that's what matters, is the search term, okay? So that's important. That's one huge thing, number 1. 2 is negative keywords, or not 2, but you added negative keywords. That's good. The other thing is, Alan, when you go into your settings for this campaign, I noticed that you are targeting the display network. So your ads are actually also being shown on Google partnered sites, okay? So this is a whole other beast. If you want to do this, I'd create a whole separate campaign for it. Because first of all, the budget has to be different for it. You need to set up special targeting for it, okay? It's a whole different beast. I wouldn't do them together. I would remove this for sure. I would not checkmark this because you haven't spent much right now. You only spent $90, but right now your ad was shown, or you spent 44 cents on this website. Okay, so your ad was shown somewhere here. Your ad was shown somewhere on this website, which is cool. Okay, it's good to test, but I would suggest creating a new campaign for it so you can alter the budget for that new campaign, because this can get costly. This can get expensive. Okay, so your ad was shown somewhere on this campaign, and your ad was shown on these other sites as well. Like it was shown on this site, you know, so a bunch of different woodworking related sites. That's where your ad was shown, which is cool. It's woodworking related, but display, like I said, it's a whole different being from search. Okay, so you spent 44 cents here for this click, but you could have potentially spent much more. And as you keep spending money on this, you will spend more on this. So I would suggest, if you do want to run ads on these sites, create a different campaign and remove your display network here. Okay, that's what I would suggest. So small thing number one, set up extensions. Small thing number one. Small thing number two, change your ads. You got way too many variations. Small thing number three, change your keywords potentially to exact or phrase. Okay, and then moving on to big things. One, tracking is huge, and two, the network. You want to change the network. Okay, so make that a different campaign, because like I said, you don't want to put them together. So that's okay. Over here, you're using also maximize conversions bidding. Thing is, you don't have any conversions data, right? So, I mean, you're lucky that you got sales. It's good, but it doesn't mean that Google found customers more likely to buy, because they don't know what those customers look like at all. Okay, so you can keep this bidding method, maximize conversions. You can keep that, but generally set up tracking basically for it to be even more effective, is what I'm trying to say. Once you integrate Google Ads and ClickBank, I have a video for that. Like I said, integrate them, and then you'll be able to actually, this will be much more efficient for you, basically. All right. So that's that for this, for the ad stuff. Let's look at your actual site real quick. And by the way, I love how your ad matches the keywords, right? So your keywords say like woodworking plans, and your ad says that, woodworking plans. So that's amazing. That's consistency. That's going to result in a higher quality score for you and result in lower cost per click. That's what you want to do. So let's look at your site here. So this is your site. So I like how it's huge, huge headline, very clear, right? That's what you need. You need a huge headline. Everything is very easy to read. Okay, I love that. Very easy to read. All of this is very good. I like that you have testimonials. What I would say, the way to improve this page, or at least test it, because right now the page is working, right? So at least test it. Don't fix what ain't broken. If it's working for you, keep it. Test it. Create another version of this page where maybe the background, like maybe blurred a little bit, because I feel like it's a little too hard on the eyes. I feel like it's hard to sometimes see stuff, because it's, to me personally, I feel like the background is a little much. Maybe like dim it down a little bit, like increase or reduce opacity or something, you know, or like add a little blur to it or something like that. The other thing is, this part is very hard to read. So it's like, it's just one big paragraph. I would maybe put spaces between them. So like enter, like have this on another line, you know, so have a blank line in between this and this, like have one blank line. So it's easier to read. Also, maybe don't have it all in bold. Maybe have, like, for example, so unbold everything, I'd say, and then maybe bold, like for example, the right detailed woodworking plans, like bold that. You know, master woodworking craftsman Ted McGrath's, bold that. Or maybe this you want to bold, spent 40 years, bold it. You know, put together a must-have comprehensive collection of woodworking plans, bold that. You know, and then maybe this, again, also put this on a different line and say, ready for you to download immediately. Maybe have that even bigger, you know, make it stand out even more. There's that. I want to see Ted's plans. So you just take them to your link. That's good. And you are using your affiliate link. So I see that on the bottom left. Good job. Always make sure you use your affiliate link, not the site like tedswoodworking.com/affiliate ID. Don't do that. You will not get credit. You have to use the affiliate link you're provided, which is what you're doing here, which is good. I like your image. I love your testimonials. But like even this is a little hard to read. Something about this makes it hard to read for me. Maybe it's the fact that it's all capitalized. Maybe that's it, you know? Like this one's a little easier to read. This one's, everything's all capitalized. And I feel like it's a little hard on the eyes. So check out my video where I show, I'll link another case study video in the description where I do go over a landing page. And then in that video, I go over many other profitable, successful landing pages. And we go over what makes them great. And one of the things that make them great, what we saw, is that they're very easy to read. Very easy to read. They don't have stuff like this. Like, I don't know, guys, let me know in the comments. What do you think? Am I the, like, is this only my opinion? I feel like this is a little hard to read. Let me know in the comments, because I could be wrong. But I'm just curious. I just don't know how exactly to put this into words or what it is. But I feel like maybe it's the fact that everything is just capitalized. You know, maybe you need title case, right? So capital H, capital W, but not capital everything. And then the background as well. I feel like it's a little, and then this, you know, this is black on dark. You can't see that. The other thing here is Ted McGrath's woodworking plan. So this is good, but I would add like a little more description or something, right? So because you're typing in, or the keywords that people are searching for are, like, let's go into search terms. So people, the most that you got, the most clicks here is woodworking training videos, okay? So woodworking training videos. Somebody type that in. Somebody clicks on your ad. It says woodworking plans made easy, okay? And then they come this. It says Ted McGrath's woodworking plan. So I would just elaborate a little bit more. Who the hell is Ted? You know, what is Ted's woodworking plans? What are you going to do for me? Like, what is this, you know? So I would just say, like, maybe Ted McGrath's woodworking plans, check out the videos below or something, right? Depending on the search terms, what people are typing in, you want to give them what they're looking for. So again, if their search terms is woodworking videos, woodwork for beginners, I would just make it a little bit clear in here because people don't know who Ted McGrath is. So I would make it a little bit more clear, like, you know, woodworking plans for beginners, woodworking plan tutorial, like something. You know what I mean? The image I feel like is a little huge. Like the general rule of thumb is, I also cover this in my video on 5 landing page optimization tips. The rule of thumb is you want to have the call to action button up top before people have to scroll. So over here, you have to scroll to access the button. Okay. So if you can make the image a little bit smaller, or maybe have like the headline, you know, like how sometimes people do the image on the left, headline on the right. Maybe you could have this like over here, the image over here, and then the call to action button like in the middle, right? Because people have to scroll, and people have to scroll about halfway. Yeah, they have to scroll halfway to see the button, right? Because they'll see it here, and it's just not everybody will scroll, right? Some people just look at it and then they just leave. But if they see a button, there's more of a chance that they'll click because then people will see that there's a next page. There's something else they could explore as opposed to them having to scroll. So just something for you to keep in mind. These are some things I would change. This one is a little poor quality image. So, I mean, it's clear that you just copy paste it, which is good. But I would see if I can find a better quality image because Ted's Woodworking, they do provide you a ton of affiliate resources. I'm sure they have high quality images of something you can use. They do have a very, very lot of resources on their affiliate page. So I would take a look at those rather than having this low quality. That's you probably took from some website. I would use theirs because they would have higher quality. Okay, so that's my advice for the page, I would say. But in general, I would prefer what you have, where it's very easy to read in terms of this is huge. You know, you can't miss this headline, as opposed to some headlines that I see that are very small, very tiny, you know. So at least this is big and straight in people's eyes, which is good, okay? Like that's a good thing. I would just add a little more information to it, make this easier to read. And I would do a split test. Like I said, obviously this is working. So I wouldn't change this. I would create another variation of this page and make the changes there. That's what I would do. So that's basically it. I hope this was helpful. So just as a recap, you want to change the ads, you want to add ad extensions, you want to potentially change the location and potentially change the keywords, make them phrase or exact, because otherwise just letting you know, broad will bring you a lot of dirt. Okay, so if it's working now, keep it, but just as a heads up. And then for the big things, step 1, first thing you got to do, Alan, is set up tracking. Absolutely no questions asked. Then you want to potentially remove it from here, remove the display network and create a separate campaign for that. That's what I would suggest. And then third is I would work on your page. I would create a split test and just Like this, definitely, this is just way too bundled together. So definitely at least have like a line, like a space, you know, like a line space between every sentence. Otherwise, this is really hard to read, really hard to read. People aren't going to read unless they find a need to read. Okay, so if you don't give them a need to read, if you don't stir their emotions, they're not going to read. So that's what I would suggest. Everything else, pretty good. So if you do implement the changes, we're all waiting, to hear how well this will do, if there are any results, so we could let the audience know and see how well all these changes did. So that is all. Hope you guys found value. Again, if you want me to make a case study for your video, especially if it has some data, if it has some tracking, send me an email at ivan@ivanmanna.com. I also invite you guys to check out my YouTube channel at youtube.com/ivanmanna, where I have at least 5 other case studies here recently that I've uploaded. And then I have other case studies from my own personal campaigns that I've done a while back as well. You can check out. And yeah, there's just a bunch of different useful videos you guys can find value in. So I invite you to check it out, and I will see you in the next video.